Yo guys, what is up? Jerome here, and today we are talking about the secret leveling method to level 3 to 5 times faster. It's all about getting runes at level 1 that you're never supposed to get, and frankly this method will probably be nerfed in the near future. I'm going to teach you how to level so much faster, blasting mobs, AoE grinding, and not only that, I'm going to show you the best spots to do it in. I'm going to show you the very best buffs you can use that nobody else is using to level way faster, and also the best secret consumables as well. We've got a great video that I'm really proud of coming up, so let's get right to it. Alright, so to get started, we have to understand a few ground rules. The first is that you can easily summon or run your way to pretty much every rune in the game, but there are some exceptions. First of all, the Grisby rune that you're going to get for your class does require level 20, and the Waylaid Supply rune will also require Honored with the Waylaid Supply faction. There are also some runes with specific limitations like Single-Minded Fury, which requires dual wielding, which you can only get at level 20. With that in mind, we can easily plan our build to be as strong as possible before we even load into the game. It's important to understand that which runes you pick will drastically affect your leveling speed. And also, before you get jealous, sure, not every class can AoE grind, but it doesn't really matter. Let's take a Druid for example. Sure, you can't AoE farm on a Druid yet, but Star Surge basically one-shots mobs from 1 to 25. So I started out with a Mage, and I wanted to get level 25 so I could start boosting people in RFC for gold. For Mage, there are really 3 important runes for leveling, and that's Regeneration, Living Flame, and Living Bomb. The fastest method is to get a summon out to the rune locations and then have a friend kill the mobs for you so you can get the drops. My friend Tekekek definitely saved me a lot of running time, summoning me to all the different locations, which was awesome. Alternatively, you could just run all the way out to the rune location and just bum an invite to somebody's group and then get the tag with them. As a Horde Mage player, it felt like the best route was to go to the Scarlet Warrior farm first for Living Flame. Then you could just head directly south with a summon and grab the Regeneration rune from the Dalaran Apprentice farming. The last one is a big problem though, because for Horde, Living Bomb requires at least level 12 with all the quest lines. The cool thing is though that you're not forced to do a Horde rune as a Horde player. As a Horde player, you can just get summoned out to Loch Modan and kill the Trogs just like an Alliance player would to get your Living Bomb rune. So at this point, you can go back to TB or Darnassus, and that's where you can get the Boon of the Black Fathom buff, and that buff is insane for leveling. The extra crit, the extra hit, the extra spell power is perfect. At the same time, if you're Horde, you can also get the Dark Moon Fair buff, and I've attached below the video a handy calendar that'll show you exactly when the fair will be in town. So after that, you can also get the Fight Path to save a bunch of time in the future, and this is where I like to initiate a Hearthstone batch. So a Hearthstone batch is where you set your Hearthstone in the current location you're in while hearthing back to the old location. You can do this with rested XP or some weak auras completely for free. So I initiate dialogue with the Innkeeper and then I begin teleporting back to the old location. Right at the last second, I switch my Hearthstone to the new location. You can just juggle back and forth infinite times. So a use case of this, for example, would be you're about to go to sleep. So you Hearthstone a TB to get the buff, then you log out. The next day you log back in and you Hearthstone back to the old location, which is the starting area, and you've just saved a bunch of time. So when I get back to the starting area, I'm going to go back to the vendor and purchase a chest, a leg, and a glove. So after I have all my runes set up, I can just AoE blast grind all the way to 25 as fast as possible. I'm going to show some of my favorite spots later in the video, but basically just anywhere with very high mob density. The thing is though, Mage isn't the only way to do this method. For example, like I talked about before, you could get a Druid and summon them out to get Star Surge at level 1. I guarantee you can level from 1 to 25 on a Druid in less than 15 hours, even though you don't have any AoE abilities at all. So after the Mage and the Druid, I wanted to get even more fun and creative, and so I wanted to level a Shaman, but get all the Shaman runes immediately. The first rune I wanted to get was Way of the Earth, which is that really strong Shaman tanking rune. That rune is really easy to get, provided you can get a quick summon to Northern Silverpine. The thing is though, I really wanted the Molten Blast rune so I could just AoE farm and destroy dozens of mobs. So the Molten Blast rune is super easy to get. You can just go to the Waylaid Supply farming area with all the chests and the dwarves near Thunderbluff. The thing is though, that because Molten Blast is so mana intensive, I wanted to have some kind of solution for mana as well. So I wanted a Shamanistic Rage rune swap for my legs. In order to get the Shamanistic Rage rune, I had to go all the way down to Stone Talon Mountains, and there's an elite called the Primordial Anomaly. It's very easy to kill with a friend, and let me tell you, having Shamanistic Rage at level 1 feels incredible. So the build possibilities are really endless at level 1 with the runes, and one I was really excited to show you was Paladin at level 1 with things like Divine Storm just destroying. But unfortunately the footage kind of fell through on that one. I would love to make a short on Paladin with Divine Storm at level 1 if you're interested. Let me know in the comments what build you want to see and which build you're looking forward to trying at level 1. So now you've got a good understanding of what you can do with the level 1 rune abuse, but we need to take it up a level. One thing that nobody's doing that you could definitely do to ramp up your leveling speed even more is to get yourself one of the drums. So the drums from the Ashen Veil event are a 5% damage and healing bonus, and they are very, very strong to have when you're leveling. The best part about this is you can get the drum even at a very low level, and also it gives you a 200 reputation bonus for Warsong, even when you're revered. So it's actually one of the most lazy and AFK ways to continually gain Warsong rep if you really hate Warsong. On top of that, you can also use all sorts of buffs. Things like the Rumsey Rum Black Label, 15 stamina even at level 1, that's 150 more health. Another consumable I really like is the Easy Throw Dynamite, which you can use at level 10 and just provides a huge AoE burst even without engineering. So now that we've gotten through consumes, it's time to talk about the very best spots to take advantage of your newfound power. Alliance, just like Horde, should basically from 1 to 6 just do your starting area, pull as many mobs as you possibly can. Basically just questing until you can finally get to an area like the Murlocs in Elwyn Forest, and these are just incredibly high density and high XP per hour. After the Murlocs, you could grab a summon out to Darnassus and then go down to Darkshore and then start killing the Furbolgs. Somewhere around level 16 or so, you'd want to start heading to Westfall and maybe start farming the River Paws, maybe you could go to the Crabs. The Crab hyperspawn is absolutely insane. And then finally, you could finish up with the Gnolls that everybody loves farming, which also have very good gold per hour. Horde, on the other hand, will be pretty limited. Again, 1 to 6, you definitely want to just do the starting area like always. From there, one of the things I like to do is to get a summon out to Tirisfal to start farming the farmers. They're pretty high mob density. So after about 6 or 7 with questing, you can start heading out to the Gnolls and Tirisfal, and those are very high mob density, and they're a hyperspawn as well. Usually about level 10 or 11, I head over to Silverpine, and I'm still questing while I do some AoE grinding at the same time in the farms. Then you can go back to the Barrens around level 14 and AoE grind while you're doing all the different quests. The 2 really good spots for Horde for AoE grinding are the Harpies, which are just amazing for XP, as well as the Grim Totems and Stone Talon Mountains. So now you understand something very cool about the game, which is that you can completely break open the leveling process with the rune system. I hope that you got a lot out of this video, and if you did, I would love if you hit the video with a like and subscribed as well. I've got another very informative video that you definitely want to check out next. It's my exact prep plans for Phase 2 to get the absolute most out of it.